Hi guys, and welcome to the channel. And this update that we're going to do for you today is a bit about the hobby, a bit of my birthday loot, and a shout out. So I'll start off with a shout out and that, and it's not to a YouTube channel like we normally would do, or shout out to a blog or anything like that. This is to a good friend of mine, Peter Valinski, the owner of Entoyment Hobbies and that down in Paul. Now this shout out is obviously to him this weekend, coming weekend, as you're watching this video, the 12th and the 13th of February 2022. He is obviously running his Beachhead show in the Bournemouth International Centre in Bournemouth. Yeah, big centre, obviously if you're locals and that's what it's known as. The show is going to be fantastic. It's got basically the whole of the Bics sort of hired out, obviously all the halls. There's going to be plenty of traders there, plenty of little games, demo games, participation games going on, huge tournament hall, various sort of other activities going on from RPGs, board gaming, and also history talks. Obviously Toby McLeod, if you know, we done some history talks with Toby, he's going to be along there also doing some more talks on that as well. So if you're in the area, you're local to the area, get along to the Bournemouth International Centre this coming 12th and the 13th for the Beachhead show. So moving on, what have we got for you to show you today? Well, it's my birthday a couple of weeks ago, and I've got a few goodies in that I would like to sort of show you. But before I do, just show you what's on the painting bench at the moment. I've been busy cutting out a basis, gluing down, making up this ATST for the Star Wars Legion. This one was for our Hoth game. Remember at Christmas we did a Hoth game? Did we show the two armies off that we painted up for those? Well, I got this early part of last year and I forgot I got it. And until we finished the game, and Jamie said, "I'm sure you've got a sort of a crashed or destroyed ATST, Dad." I went, "Yeah, now you come to think of it, I think I have." Yeah, anyway, went hunting and lo and behold, found it out. So anyway, that's a belated sort of terrain piece that's going to be added to the game system, so we'll sort of do that. If you're wondering what I've used for the basing on there, it was this AK Interactive Natural Earth. And it goes on really simply, just using like a little spreader from the old Games Workshop sort of spreaders and that, and just move it out, mould it how you want it to be, and go from there. I mean, you know, really good, very easy. I think Martin's use these sort of materials and that for his Crusades and that, Martin Son. Yeah, really good. So that's that, just push that out of the way a minute. Mel's been busy painting up some more of our Marvel stuff and that, really nice, got cable and that in the centre there. These are really nice figures. So she's done those three. I'll just take those off and show you another three that she's done. On there. And then we've got these three here. They're really nice. That's all to add to the collection, obviously with the X-Men collection. Everyone sort of knows I'm more of an X-Men fan than I am the rest, but I do like the rest of it and that. But yeah, so really looking forward to get them on the table having a game with those. So that's something sort of different to play. Now, the birthday loot. What did I have for my birthday? Well, Jamie really got me a nice PlayStation voucher, so I sort of went towards getting me next Witch Queen for my Destiny update. So that's done. Happy days for that, Jamie. Thank you for that. And they've all got me the Harrow Deep new character. Now, I don't want it for the Harrow Deep or Underworld game system. I want it for the Ogre character and obviously his little entourage. If you look in the bottom, there is entourage. Got like a little monkey. That's really cool. Quite like that. That's really funny. But he's going to be one of the leaders from the Ogre army, which I'm going to do up obviously for Saga Age of Magic and also AOS, Fantasy, you name it, anything. The other things that I got for my birthday was Group. Seen Little Legion's video recently. I say recently, it's a little while ago now. He done when he purchased the rules of using his Flames of War German Grenadiers. Seen that, I was quite excited about what he was talking about with that. So I picked up, asked for the rules. So I'll have a look at those in a sec. And the other thing that I got as well was I love these collection of books. I've got the one on the Charge the Light Brigade. They are really good, and again some lovely colour plates and that in there for aiding you with your painting of your armies. Now I've been watching Seventh Son's videos on his Test of Honour, and him and his wife playing some games and that, and it's really good little campaigns, quite good fun watching them. And I've also been watching Drew Tenement Tabletop's recent video he's done for just getting into Test of Honour, and again he's done some fantastic terrain and figures and that for that. I'd forgot that we'd actually built and painted up terrain and figures and that back in the first edition. Okay, it's one of those sort of things, sort of hide it away in the cupboard, and I think, oh, get that out. Ah, yeah, forgot about that. So anyway, so I picked up the second edition set of rules, and we've been recently playing that. We've got it back out, and hopefully on the screen and that you'll be seeing some of the pictures and that of some of the games and that of the games that we've been playing. So on top of all of that, I thought, well, let's get some more terrain to add in. So I personally like Jorg Bender's Things from the Basement's feudal terrain he does. So I sort of picked up some of the lamps that he does, and the little roadside shrines to that, the little well on there, and what I do like is actually the request board on there. And last but not least, I picked up, I don't know if this picture's going to show, the shrine. That's what it'll look like when it's done. Ideal for the first mission and the little campaign they have in the rule book, the roadside shrine. So that could be quite good for useful for that. So that's what the sort of gifts and that I've got for my birthday, and obviously showing you the bench update. Now I'll just spin the camera around and we'll just take a closer look at a couple of the books. Okay, so we'll start off with the first book then. We'll sort of really quick look through these books and that, see what it's all about. So The Frontier Ablaze. This is set in the Northwest Frontier, the risings of 1897 and 1898. As I said before, these are a really good series of books. I think there's 6 in the series in total. Like I said before, I've got the book on the Charge of the Light Brigade, and that is fantastic, and the colour plates in that are really, really nice. So just quickly sort of get it open. I would say we'll just take a quick sort of thumb through some of the pictures, some of the sort of details and that is going on. Let's say some lovely photographs and that in here, based on photos of the time. Commanders and leaders and different units, and also it goes through sort of the campaigns, as I said. Flip these through, excuse my hands as I'm going through, and we'll get to some of the colour plates. There we go, some of the colour plates, and say some really nice, ideal in that's obviously if you're looking for what to paint your Afghans, the Perrys, or is it Wargames Atlantic and that do nice plastic Afghans. And obviously your British troops and the Indian troops there as well. So bring that back over in shot a bit more. There we go. Some really nice colour plates for you to get some ideas from for painting out your miniatures. And as I said, all the other campaigns based on that particular year of the uprising. Really, really nice. I've sort of had a brief sort of look through it so far, and again, it's sort of inspiring me to sort of do Men Would Be Kings with it, but that won't be this year's project. It'll certainly be next year. But yeah, so there we are. That is sort of a brief look at Frontier Ablaze. So next up then we have O Group, which is done by, written by David Brown, known notably of Pickett's Charge, General d'Armée, General de Brigade, and those sorts of rules. These are produced by Reiswitz Press, which is the sister company for Two Fat Lardies, and they're available on their website and that, with obviously they do a bundle deal with this and obviously the PDF version and obviously the tokens, or you can just break it down and get it however you want. This is based at the battalion level rules, as it says on the front there, and again, it's ideal for, he's written it for 15 and 20mm figures, but there's no reason why you can't use smaller scales, 10mm, 6mm, etc., whatever you want really, or the new Victrix, I think it's 12mm, is it? I think so off the top of my head. Yeah, so we've got all of those, and yeah, the miniatures is world your oyster really with it. As I said, we'll just a quick sort of thumb through. It is, move this over a little bit. It is a little bit wordy when you read through it, but the series of videos that he does on Two Fat Lardies channel, a YouTube channel, certainly do help sort of break it down and go through each of the sections and that for you. It is chart heavy, but when you're playing the game, Mel and I and Jamie have had a brief sort of demo of it, sort of try it out. A lot of it you don't use all the time, so it is sort of like, you know, a lot of information really all the time, you're not going to use it. I do like how you do your deployment and run through your turn. It's all based off of a series of dice that you'll roll, which gives you a number of sort of actions and that you can perform, or orders in this case that you can do, and different types of orders for activating your units. So deploying, moving, firing, rallying. The shock in this, or suppression, is really big in this game. It's obviously like all Too Fat Lardy's games and that are, and I think Dave's certainly taken that on board. And, some of the orders in that you can do. Hopefully that's coming out on camera. You sort of get an idea. But yeah, so it is a very good game. We played a little demo of it recently, and it played really, really well. So I'm just really quick and thumbing through this now. So I'm just trying to get a. That's what I'm sort of saying to you about some of the charts. But like all of that, you're not always going to use. That's some of the infantry ranges, HE ranges, etc. You're not always going to use all of this. So it depends on what you want to do when you're playing your game, really, what sort of game you set up. Artillery is quite good, how that works. Not like with Flames of War, where you have obviously all the models on the table. Your actual artillery units are off table at the battalion. So you can represent them on the table, obviously with gun models, but they're just counters, and just remove the gun model when you fire, because it's like in this sort of game, you're deeming the artillery's coming over the top of you, from behind the lines. Yeah, so shock and morale, as I said, that is quite a big thing in this game. And it goes nicely into the back of how to set up your battalions and that, and it's got obviously every nation in there. So the British, I think the Germans are next, yeah. And then you move on through to the Russians and the Americans. So obviously the main protagonists and that are in there. I think you've already released, since these rules have come out, the 1940s campaign book. So that looks quite interesting. And you've got some optional rules if you want to sort of play through. And obviously they're advertising Pendraken at the back there, and obviously Victrix at the front. So like I said, Flames of War figures, your 20 mils that you've already got, or smaller, your choice. But it does look like to be a good set of rules. And like I sort of showed you earlier on, this is actually the model, so sort of get a better idea of what the ATST is and what I've done to it. Obviously, excuse me, hands in there, just glued some bits of slate and that around the outside. This is 3mm MDF, which I've cut around, and I've chamfered the edge all the way around. Sort of try and hopefully blend it back into the table a little bit more. And then, as I say, just glued some bits of slate around the edges and that to create that sort of rock element of what Hoth would look like. And then put that texture right over the top. And then I'm going to undercoat the whole model. And then most of this, to be honest with you, most of this is going to be contrast painted. Especially the ATST itself, the Walker itself, and obviously we'll do the various shadings and that like we did with the figures previously. So we'll probably give it like a, I think it was a Space Wolf grey, sort of a bluey look to the rocks and everything, and the snow, sort of give it that sort of different sort of contrast and that between the two. But yeah, so that's what we're going to do there. So there you have it, guys. That's today's update video all done. I hope you've enjoyed sort of seeing some of the things that we've got coming up and what we're doing and what we've been getting up to. And if say Test of Honor, we will start to look to show you some more of that as we build up a bit more terrain for it, and obviously build up the factions and get some games on the channel. I think that'd be quite interesting. Now we're sort of getting used to the rules. All the information for the Beachhead show, I will leave a link to Pete, the Entoyment's Facebook group and his store in the description below, so go and check them out. And if you haven't checked out the Pile of Shame podcast, I'll leave a link to the Facebook group there. Obviously I was involved with that with Leon, Simon from Bite Size Gaming, Little Legion Steve, and Medieval Warrior Nick. Yeah, it was a great evening, great chat last Friday, and hopefully we're going to do it every Friday. So I'll leave a link to the Facebook group in the description below. Until then, guys, hope you've enjoyed what you're doing. Hope your hobbies all going well for you, and we look forward to seeing your videos and everything else you're doing. Please stay safe and happy wargaming.